talk about your Rickenbacker here to the right.
Oh, this is a Rickenbacker Capri. John Lennon had a Rickenbacker Capri. This is 1957. John Lennon had it in 1957. This is a two-pickup Rickenbacker. John Lennon had the three-quarter version, the smaller version, but with three pickups. At one of the big trade shows in Europe, the one that he picked up, it was the sample guitar by Rickenbacker. Now, the main thing that needs to be understood about vintage and guitars, vintage guitars from the 50s, is that in the 50s, when they had these shows, they mainly competed by making a guitar that could be put in to any amplifier and have a better sound than the competition. So they worked very much on the woods and the way that the guitar was put together. They put a lot more into the production, a lot more into the custom making of each guitar. It might be said the guitars of the 50s are more custom made than the guitars of the 60s. As production increased all the way through the 50s into the 60s with Fender, Fender brought it into mass production. Until today we have mass production Chinese and mass production Mexican, which make ideal first guitars as long as you get one that's in tune. But they probably they won't sound quite like a rare vintage guitar. The rare vintage guitar will be, here's a unique sound ready to jump on a record. And here's a unique, rare sound ready to jump on a record. So this Rickenbacker Capri was the same guitar that the singer Sam Cooke played on records in the 1950s and early 60s. You Send Me, Darling You Send Me, I can't remember all the Sam Cooke hits, but yeah, he's that singer. Look him up online. He made some wonderful, great records. He was mainly playing the Capri on stage, and I'm not sure whether he played on records or not. He might have, and he might have not. I don't know that much. I haven't researched him that much, but I know that the guitar that he played on stage was a 57 Capri. So that's probably all I have to say about. Oh, the pickups on the guitar are two distinct. There's three distinct sounds that can be made, and they're unique from other guitars that I've heard. And in my vintage, my era, I started playing when I was 12 years old in 62. So I played an awful lot of brands and styles of guitars. I'm not a great guitar player, but boy, I seem to pick very good sounding guitars. I don't know if that was to overcompensate from playing, that I really I could only get my hands so strong. I'm working on that now. I was in the hospital for 6 months, and I have my guitar exercises that I do from a little machine that they make, a Guitar Center. It's for strengthening your guitar hand. If you're right-handed, your left hand, and if you're left-handed, your right hand. Barring chords and things like that. I can barely bar a chord, but I learned a lot of vintage chords because I learned the chord back in the early 60s from Donovan, on the Shindig show. He showed me this chord. He showed me opening tuning. He showed John Lennon the tuning for Dear Prudence. Donovan was Mr. Tuning. He invented tunings. And, people like Joni Mitchell, she did tunings. If you're interested in tunings, it's not really good to like do E-tuning and leave your guitar in E-tuning. You need to use, oh, by the way, for the record, the guitar part in Yesterday